Music Saves the Day. Did we just get an Ewok? In the summer of 69. All tonight on Chevron Locked. Hello, and welcome everybody back. Kevin, I'm going to butcher these intros. I swear, maybe that's why the computer crashed on me last time, because I fucked up the intro. Like,
definitely is. That's
maybe
the only
that's
explanation.
Man, holy shit. And I promise, I swear, man, I am sober right now. I am drinking a beer, but I am sober.
I love the right now asterisk on that.
Oh, well, because sometimes I enjoy our conversations about Stargate. Maybe sometimes I bring out like a big tall rum of Coke as we're recording these, and I just sip on them, you know?
Maybe that's the best way to talk to me. I don't know. I've noticed that too.
Yeah. I would not think that though, sir. I would not think that at all. So yeah, I'm BC, by the way, and we're going to be talking about Stargate, you know? I guess that's why we're here.
We're working towards it. We're going to get there.
Yeah, we are going to get there. Like I said, this is episode 14. We are currently on season 2 of Stargate. And tonight we are looking at, let me pull up my listing here. We're looking at One False Step, Show and Tell in 1969. These are episodes 19, 20, and 21 of season 2. And yeah, so we actually recorded an intro about 45 seconds ago before my computer the whole thing just crashed. But Kevin here was telling me that he just went to go see a movie.
Yeah, just got back from Power Rangers just now actually. And a pretty decent movie.
Okay. Now, I'm 39. I'll be 40 this year, right? Mm-hmm. So like when I was in high school, like I want to say maybe my senior year is when the first time I noticed Power Rangers, but I was out of that at that point. You know, like I didn't grow up with it.
I didn't either. I mean, I'm 37. I'm not that much younger than you. I remember my brother really getting into, he's 7 years younger than me. He really got into Power Rangers. I watched, I think, the first season, and even looking back on that, there's like 87 episodes in season 1. So I don't know how long that went on. But frankly, I mean, it was fun. All I remember of it is the first season and the first movie, but this movie was pretty good. This movie stands on its own.
Does it?
Yeah. You know, you don't have to know anything about the original to get this. It's got really funny parts. It's got some really cool action. The story is good enough, which, I mean, it's Power Rangers. You're not really asking much of it. I was happy. Money well spent.
I mean, I've seen all the trailers. I think I've seen most of the trailers at least. And, I don't know if it's something I'll catch in the theater, but I can safely say it's definitely something I'm going to end up watching at some point. Like, how the visual effects, did they hold up pretty good, or did it look just almost, because to me, the trailers, I'm like, man, that almost looks too much CG, if that makes sense.
No, you know what? I think we get a lot of unfinished stuff in trailers.
Yeah.
And the final pass and a couple of extra, whatever, filters or whatever they do to it, it looked really good. Because I'm a stickler for, poor special effects. I still can't watch Free Willy, because that is the worst CGI ever. But I had no problem with this. I really liked it. Come to think of it, you're 39.
I am.
How do you feel about Voltron?
You know what's funny? So, I was driving home from work, and I think a couple of episodes ago, I introduced, I did our little intro, and I'm like, hey, I'm BC. This is my host. This is my co-host, Kevin. Or I think I said something to the effect of, this is this Scooby to my Shaggy, or something. I made some reference, some 80s reference, right?
Yeah.
So I'm driving home from work, and I'm like, I'm going to plug that again. And I'm like, maybe we'll go like this is the Blue Lion to my Voltron reference. I shit you not, that thought went through my head like 30 minutes ago.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, so there's this guy that I work with who is on my other podcast, Nerdy Things. And the younger guy that I podcast with, Jules and Tim, are fighting over which is better, Power Rangers or Voltron. and I'm really kind of stuck in the middle because they're the same goddamn show.
Okay. They're not. Like, okay. Now, okay, hold on.
Hold on. No, I'm in. I'm up. No,
all right.
It's a Japanese show dubbed into English about 5 teenagers who wear bright colors, who get in giant robots that when the going gets rough, those 5 robots combine into a more powerful, larger single robot. What is different?
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I think this whole conversation makes us both look like fucking idiots, but I'll go down this rabbit hole for the next 3 minutes with you before we start Stargate stuff. Power Rangers is more campy. Power Rangers is, now granted, I know Voltron was an animated show, but Power Rangers is even more kid-like than what Voltron was.
Oh, no, nope. I have to disagree. Now, we're actually, on the podcast, which we're going to be recording on Wednesday, I am going to act as the impartial but not inactive judge between the two of them.
The mediator, if you will.
Yeah, they're going to present their cases. So I've been doing my research and sort of watching old episodes of each, figuring out what's better. And I'm so divided on this because they're the same show.
Who's pulling for Voltron? Tim
is pulling for Voltron.
So I clearly need a shirt that says Team Tim.
There you go.
You know, let him know that he has my support.
But I mean, I get your point, but the original Voltron cartoon had the little mice, the little, like, kawaii characters.
They did.
And it would focus in on that. I mean, it was just as cheesy. It was just as weird and wacky. And they had to recut it just as much.
Can we just talk about the theme songs? Like the Voltron theme song? Like when that shit starts, like when that cartoon started and you get that, like, fucking just, like full...
voice of Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, giving you the overview of the series.
No, I'm talking about the music. Yeah, just that,
and
full
then you
orchestra.
Get that awesome orchestra music. Yeah. Yep. No, I'm with you.
Versus the Go-Go Power Rangers that is that theme song. Like,
it's catchy though.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been watching the videos, but that's been stuck in my head for a week too.
Yeah, Herpes is catchy, but I don't want to fuck that, you know? I don't know. That's neither here nor there, dude. No. But I'm very interested to see how that conversation goes, and I will definitely be tuning in. But side note, did you ever see that little live action teaser trailer that I would have to look this up. Did you ever watch Psych on
Psych,
USA?
yeah, I love Psych.
Okay, the guy who played the serious detective.
Yeah.
His buddy is a director, right? And his buddy made a very short, like 3-minute movie about Voltron, like as showing it as a proof of concept type of thing. And Timothy, whatever that guy's name is, the guy from Psych, he played the captain of the Red Lion. And it was just like he was stuck in space. It was a really cool little trailer. I'll put it out on Twitter because it's, if people haven't seen it, the proof of concept that a good live action Voltron movie, it's there. It's absolutely there. So.
Oh, fantastic. I'll have to check that out.
So yeah, that just, that was a little bit of a rant that I wasn't prepared for, but that's all right.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, man. Speaking of trailers, we got our first look at Justice League, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that. I just wanted to see what you thought. I loved it. Like, I'm still hopefully optimistic, but man, that one kind of got me pumped up a little bit.
Oh boy, I'm going to see it. I'm just not, I guess I'm not a DC fanboy. I want to be because they have some amazing characters, but I just, and this is so hypocritical because I just said that the CGI in commercials is not what we get in the movie.
Yeah.
But having said that, I definitely feel like what was in this trailer was a lot of, I don't know, weird physics and bouncing around in ways that people don't move.
No, people don't, but superheroes do.
Okay, but some dude whose only power is to talk to fish doesn't. And I just feel like I'm going to have to wait and see the whole thing.
Oh, you just kicked me in the dick a little bit, dude. Just kicked me right in the dick. We will talk. We will talk more about that. I would like to do, maybe we'll do a quick little podcast episode when that movie comes out and me and you can really fucking dive into it. Cause I think that we are going to have conflicting views of that movie, but I don't think we're going to have conflicting views of whether or not we enjoyed it, if that makes sense. So
no, I think we can agree to that.
Yeah. True story. So yeah, I guess we're here for Stargate, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm told.
Okay, so like I said, we've got 3 episodes tonight. We've got One False Step, Show and Tell in 1969. Spoiler alert. Oh, is this a running theme, dude? I'm like 2 out of 3. It seems like every week I'm 2 out of 3 episodes. I can't quite get all 3 episodes
Really?
Yeah, it's really weird, man.
This is what I love, though. I'm real excited. Like I love something about every episode in this, and I'm not usually like an upbeat person, so I think it's fantastic.
Well, I will say that I was a little bit wrong about 1969 from last week about what we talked about towards the end of last episode. I was pleasantly wrong about that.
Good.
And then the other two, we'll talk about all three. Why don't we just jump right into One False Step, and we'll see what we thought about that.
Perfect. You want me to give the overview?
Oh, you do it so well, sir.
All right. So the gang gets a remote control plane. Carter immediately crashes it, and they have to hoof it to go get it back. But some weird dudes who live in the area have taken it, and when they get there, the weird dudes get sick. The gang feels bad and tries to fix it, and wackiness ensues.
So what'd you think?
I don't know. I kind of like this episode.
Okay.
It's showing some growth. I mean, we have that UAV to start instead of a MALP going through the gate, and it shows, like, they even say that they went through, so they did the MALP thing and they went through and they came back, and now they want to kind of explore even more. So it's really expanding the scope of what we can encounter on these planets, because we're sort of getting, like a 1 mile snapshot of these planets, and it's like the old sci-fi trope where you've got a desert planet, you've got an ice planet. It's like, no, you just showed up on the 5 mile square desert on the entire planet.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool. They figure out that there's other things to see on this planet, and we actually have a direction to go and see some of it. And I liked it.
Okay. Well, then you're going to be driving this part of the show then about this episode, because this was the episode I didn't really care. I didn't hate any of these episodes, right? This one just didn't really care for. All said and done.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of elements in this that I am going to have so much fun pointing out are so wrong.
Oh, and that's what I like to hear. I will say, two things. One, I feel like, the second Star Trek movie, the most recent second Star Trek movie, took some inspiration. Yeah. Do you remember that opening scene of that movie where Kirk and Bones are going to go steal that? It looks like they're stealing a scroll.
Oh, yes.
And they're running through that red forest, and it's got the tribal people behind them. Yep. It's almost the exact same makeup. Same type of design,
Yeah. I think in Star Trek it was just a little darker, but
it was a little darker, and it was a little bit more like visually appealing, I guess. Like that's clearly awesome. A bigger budget, but that's exactly what it reminded me of when we first got that first shot of the alien looking into the UAV, like picking it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pardon me. So that being said, I really liked the look of that race of people. I thought that was a really cool look and something completely different from what we had seen before. I enjoyed that. I'm kind of a sucker for those episodes where Daniel has to work out some basic form of communication, like between them, because you always get some funny wordplay or whatever. And there was a great one where he's trying to get them to tell them where the drone's at, and he's like got his arms all extended out, and he's just like making flying noises and running around the cave and shit.
And this was the first episode where I thought maybe they should have brought a linguist instead of an archaeologist.
Yes. Well, do you not think that Daniel is kind of both?
He a little bit. I mean, we'll talk about this more in 1969.
That's what I was going to reference that, but I wanted to hold off.
But no, I think that he is still just here for Charest. And he's kind of talked his way onto the team because of the things he can decipher from history, and not because of his language skills per se.
Okay.
Yes, he knows the languages, but if it's coming up with something else, I don't know that he'd have much skill figuring out how to explain to them the drone without looking like he's trying to feed a 4-year-old fucking food on a spoon shaped like an airplane.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I really will. But I think that they use certain characters for comedy relief at certain points, and I think that this particular episode, Daniel was kind of the comedic relief for that part of the show, at least.
No, I loved it. I just, I can love it and still think that they should have done it different.
No, absolutely. But other than that, man, those are kind of the positives I had about this episode. And then the rest of it's all just, not really negatives, but the reasons why I just didn't think it was a great episode, I will say. So why don't you, what were some of your thoughts, some of the shit you caught, some of the shit you took, problems with?
Okay. So the episode starts, as we said, with the UAV going through the gate, and then it crashes 55 seconds later. And it's apparently 10 miles from the gate.
Yes.
Which means it was traveling at least 654 miles per hour.
Oh my God. You did the math there.
A record. The world record for a propeller driven aircraft is 600, it's about 623 miles per hour, set in 97, by the XF-84H, I think it was. Anyway, no way that this little drone was going anywhere near that fast.
Wow. Good on you for fucking fact checked in there on that one.
Well, I even went back just before we started recording and checked how long it was between it materializing on the planet and it crashing, and it was exactly 55 seconds. It bothered me, to have it go, 10 miles, and I'm sure the writer just pulled a number out of his ass.
Oh, I'm sure.
Give me something. Cut away. Have it be flying around for a couple of hours before it crashes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And
there.
it was on some sort of weird autopilot. There would be someone controlling it the entire time.
Yeah, I agree. Because I thought about that when I'm watching that. All of a sudden, they start having problems, and Carter's like, I'm going to manual control. I'm like, wasn't somebody already doing manual control? Like,
there's like 80 people here in the control room. None of them were doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's a lot of people in that control room that I don't think do shit.
No, they basically are just there to congratulate the team for such a good job done.
Yeah, or to die.
Or to die. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the two.
They get clipboards and they're just walking around with their lab coats on.
It's like there's 27 buttons that need to be pushed, and they brought in 27 people.
Yes.
And they're like, This is your button. Fucking push it when Carter says something. You just push that button. Right. So, yeah, no, I agree. What else?
So when they meet the people and they're trying to communicate, fun fact, baring your teeth, sign of aggression. So when they're smiling at them, trying to calm everybody down, that would definitely be something that would escalate the situation instead.
I agree. And especially when Tilk smiles.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's so awkward, but cute.
When we got that, what episode was it where we get Cassandra? Like,
that was that.
Whatever episode that was.
Week. It was the same episode too.
Yeah, because Jack was like, try to be very nice, or try to look very welcoming and smile at her, and he went to.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree though. Very much of a sign of aggression, but I will say this: as far as we could tell, like that group of people were far from like hostile.
Oh, they seemed very easygoing. But I think you have to be when your hut is made of a giant pile of shit.
I was assuming mud, but hey, maybe you caught something in that episode that I didn't.
Yeah, mud would definitely not be as lumpy and bulbous as this was. That was definitely a pile of excrement.
Wow. Okay. You said you are very much you sounded very much like a professional there. So I'm going to take your word on that one.
Oh yeah, it looks like they just hollowed out the leavings of a giant dung beetle.
There was a scene in Jurassic Park that just reminded me of that. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when she's searching through all that. Anyway, yeah. What else you got?
When Jack and Daniel were getting agitated with each other and fighting, something about the blocking on that scene and the camera work, I just thought they were going to kiss. Like I was kind of rooting for it. Like, I just wanted the tension to ease between the two of them. And then later on, when they were in the infirmary, it felt like they were talking about dealing with their feelings from kissing.
Yeah.
It had that awkward vibe to it.
The way that they had them sitting down on the cart, like just juxtaposed from each other, and that very they wouldn't make eye contact.
Yeah, like you. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You talk first.
Yeah. Oh. Good
and
job.
then Teal'c, when he was left alone on the planet, and he discovers that all the mushrooms are connected. I'm pretty sure that was the same ooze from the Ninja Turtles. And I'm rooting for him to become Bebop. I'd take Rocksteady, but I'm hoping he becomes Bebop.
I gotta tell you, fantastic casting choice. And, I would agree that if the Secret of the Ooze, yeah, he would have to be Bebop.
Oh, no doubt.
There's no way he can't pull off a Rocksteady. He's a Bebop type of guy.
Yeah.
This
was
really,
this was an episode.
I was going to say the only thing that would have, made this episode better, in my opinion, or helped it, is if Vanilla Ice would have shown up doing the ninja rap.
Go ninja, go.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
sorry.
absolutely. I mean, I felt like this episode too should have been subtitled "Daniel Doesn't Explain a Damn Thing," because there were like 3 scenes in this where he walks into a room, just goes, "Oh wait," and then turns around and leaves.
But Carter did the same shit at the end of the episode. Like, she was like, "We should get away. I have a hunch," right? So they all look at her like, "Okay." Then they get out to the woods, and Jack's like, "Are you going to tell us what your hunch was?" And she's like, "No,
nope,
not yet."
Yep. Nope.
And I'm like,
give it another 20 minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, really, Carter? See, you were having such a good episode, then you did some shit to fuck it up.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's what I got. Although this was the first episode that I noticed that one of the Iris closing sequences was the Iris opening sequence played in reverse, because there's some smoke coming out of one of the superconductors that when they showed the Iris, it was going back into the superconductor.
Ooh. You've been paying more attention, man.
Yeah, it's the drugs I'm on.
You're going to make me bring up my game now. Because, I mean, I watch these and take some notes about things I want to talk to you about, or things that, you know what's funny is as I'm taking notes now, because we've recorded enough of these, I got a pretty good feel for you picking stuff out. So I'll kind of write notes down just in case I need to go on the defense or the offense about something, you know?
Yep.
And, so yeah, you're going to make me try harder now. So
a little bit.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, we got to keep each other on our toes.
You're damn right, sir. You know, you need to stop seeing shitty movies like Power Rangers, but.
Hey man, listen, I got to do my research for my other podcast.
That's
right?
true. Okay. So it was like a business expense. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly. I'm writing it off.
Yeah, I'm writing you off. Anyway, anybody out here wants to be on a Stargate-based podcast, just email me. So yeah, One False Step. It sounds like I think it's safe to say neither one of us really hated the episode, but the episode kind of fell on its face a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think it really did anything.
Yeah.
I didn't care about any of the characters.
No.
It's no one we'll see again. It's nothing we'll see again. I think the only thing to come out of this that was a positive was the UAV.
Yeah, and I agree, because if I remember right, this is the the second time that we've seen the UAV in action.
Yeah.
And I do agree. I 100% agree with you. I think that is fantastic technology to bring onto the show. I think that it provides a new scope for the teams and whatnot. Really cool piece of tech. Visually, it looked really cool too. You know,
yeah.
This
was the first time we saw it really as widespread as it was, because I think last time was when we met the Tolan and we kind of saw them.
I think you're right. Yes. But yeah, no. I mean, again, didn't hate it. Just, what are you gonna do? You know,
right? Nah.
So let's just move right on to Show and Tell, which, side note, was a Peter DeLuise episode.
Indeed.
And I think we got a cameo from Peter DeLuise.
Yep, he was the machine gun guy right outside the gate that looks at the kid when the kid comes through.
It was such a great cameo too. He just peeks his head around that little metal shield on the front of the gun, just kind of like leans out to the left and stares at him, and then slowly comes back out of frame. You know, just a great little cameo. But why don't you talk to us about One False Step?
Sure. So, a boy in pajamas comes through the gate, warning us that his invisible friend thinks we're cool, but we're in danger from more of her kind. Sam Dad comes in like a know-it-all and sheds some light on the situation.
Yep, that was pretty much it. And, okay, so the kid comes through the Stargate, right? Well, what we find out is a kid.
Because no, that was an Ewok.
That's what I was getting ready to say, dude. Like, I
had to beat you to it.
I know you did. Fuck off. Yeah, they start the camera down on his feet and pan up, and I'm like, is that fucking Wicket, the goddamn Ewok? Like, are we about to fucking cross over right now?
Mm-hmm. Holy shit, they got Warwick Davis to come in.
Yeah. No, we didn't get that. Instead, we got basically a younger version of Powder.
Oh, yes. Yes, that is where I was going to go.
Yeah, it was basically Powder Jr. Like, that's what we got. Yep. Kind of talked like him, definitely looked like him. And, and I mean, at the first start of that episode, they thought that, the kid had fucking powers.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It kind of weird. This was, have you been watching Iron Fist at all? On Netflix?
I haven't yet. No. Okay. I really want to, but I haven't started it yet.
Well, I won't ruin anything, but with this kid, much like Iron Fist, I feel like a lot of this misunderstanding at the start of this episode could have been fixed with a little bit of exposition and just show us what you're talking about. Show us how you're different and make your invisible mommy hold a pen and move it across the room.
Or do something other than fire some proton blast directly at a TV set,
Exactly. We needed that monitor. It was keeping you alive. I'm so sorry. Now you're going to die.
Yeah. Conversation's over, little man. I agree with you, man, because I think that I don't remember this episode, to be honest with you. I don't remember, the original time I've seen this or even times in the past that I've watched it.
Nope.
So I think that when I viewed it, I was on the side that like, okay, clearly there's like an alien with this kid. I didn't think that the kid was like psychic or anything like that. I truly thought that, there's just some invisible alien. I'm like, can we just get to this already? Like,
seriously, it's, you're dragging this out just to drag it out.
You really are. And they were. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. Sorry. So yeah, it's a kid. He's got an invisible mom that, what was the race name?
Ritu.
The Ritu, thank you. And, the Ritu, she is Ritu. We find out that he is actually human and that, the Ritu are wanting to invade Earth along with many other planets, I can assume, because they want to basically defeat the Goa'uld by killing off any potential host.
Right. It's so dumb, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a really hard plot point right there. I liked the episode. I really did. I liked a lot about the episode. I liked the special effects. I actually liked the writing. I thought the story, but it was just like that particular plot point. I'm like, can't we just say that one of these Ritu, one of the bad Ritu within the population of the Ritu, like came back through the Stargate and was causing problems and he was just a bad guy, can't we just go that route? Like that's, right. I'm okay with that. And you can still have the whole mother and son thing coming in to warn them like, hey, you guys, like these Ritu came through the Stargate with you at one point and they're going to start wrecking shit. And you can still get the Tok'ra in there. Yeah, that particular plot device, I wasn't a big fan of.
Yeah, I mean, I really had some problems with like when she came through and when the group of the Ritu rebels that were going to blow up the base came through, because I don't understand the timing of that. Were we supposed to think that they had already come through prior to us going to the Ritu planet, or did they come back with us? Because I have problems with either one.
Okay, so let's start with, when I watched that, I took that as to say that they came back with them when they came back from the Ritu planet.
Okay, so there's no way that 5 of those snuck through when we had 3 or 4 of those guns that could show us where they were, and we were aware that they could do this. So I they even said that they swept the room and they were looking around. So what did they fly over us? Did they jump? Did they become super invisible? I don't understand that. And then when they went into the room with the boy and his mother, there would be she would see the other Ritu, or the boy would see the other Ritu, and or both. Why didn't they?
Okay, so the very last Ritu that were defeated were in the kid's room, correct? Yeah. So maybe it's just a thing, because let's just assume here that the Ritu coming through the Stargate, clearly they would have never been to the SGC. Maybe it took them a little time to find that fucking room.
Okay, but they were on the other side from the door, and the mother was there's a doorway. In to the right is the mother, in to the left is the other bad guy.
Yes.
there's one door to that room. The kid and the mother would have seen them come in, and it just doesn't work out.
Can they go through walls?
I don't think
was that talked about? Because they specifically said they asked Sam's dad if they would be safe with the iris.
And he said, but that's because of integration. Oh, he said yes, you'd be safe. Yeah, they could get through.
They
wouldn't be able to reintegrate.
Correct. But they never actually said if they could like just phase almost.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
I don't know. Again, playing devil's advocate here, trying to figure out some loophole that they missed here. You know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm the idiot. I'm happy to be the idiot.
No. Not in this particular. Normally, I would say yes, you fucking are. But in this particular case, I agree with your line of thinking. I'm just trying to figure out a way from their standpoint that could have worked. Because you're right, there is only one door into that room, and Mother got it. No, Mother killed one.
Right.
And then they targeted Mom, and Daniel starts yelling no. And then Mother's head pops like a fucking grape, dude. It looked like a grape getting run over by a truck. It was a very satisfying kill.
It was like an overripe zit.
Yeah. Oh, just blew the fuck up, dude. And the kid's just screaming, Mom, you know?
I was fine with that because kids with imaginary friends are the worst.
Oh, God. Fucking losers. Are they? I don't know.
The worst. I mean, I had some when I was younger, but the worst. Absolute worst.
But, okay, so let's talk about the good stuff in the episode. What did you like about it? Like, what in that where you're like, oh, you know, that was kind of cool.
We got more of Jack's strange kids rules. You know,
yeah.
When we brought Cassandra back and he told her every kid on Earth had to have a dog, in this, it was the one about crying. And all the rules for when you can cry and when you can't cry. I think it's really cute. I think he aside from his gun control policies, he was a really good dad.
I was about to say, with all of his rules, where's the rule about, hey, don't touch my fucking gun? Is that too soon?
That's,
is that too soon?
I don't know that there's a statute of limitations on that one.
Oh, God. Yeah. God, I'm an asshole, dude.
Welcome.
Yeah, so how many times are we going to get Jack have to be tortured with, like, somebody bringing up Charlie?
Oh, I know. And then this kid,
this is the second time, right?
Can I be Charlie? Can I be your son?
Yeah.
No, kid, because it will kill me.
But this is the second time, though, isn't it? That an alien has said,
yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I want to be your son. What was his name? I like that name. That's my name now. You know?
Yep.
Like Mother, quote unquote, Mother did a very shitty job of explaining like basic manners to that little bastard.
Seriously, raise your kid better. Slap him a little.
Yeah, no. So there was that. What else? I did like the visuals actually. I liked the visuals of the kind of the like when the light would hit them, when that UV light would hit them, like kind of the phasing in and out of our spectral.
Absolutely amazing. I loved it when they were on the planet and you could just see the field full of them and you could only get swaths of them at a time.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Do you think that was like the genesis? Do you think that was the genesis point of Starship Troopers?
Maybe.
Because I saw that and they're all lying in the dirt, you know, like trying to hide from these fucking like 300 of these things, you know, and you just kind of see them over this like open sand area. And I'm like, oh shit, I've seen this movie in 96. It was called fucking Starship Troopers. Ooh, wait, did Starship Troopers come out before this? I think it did.
Might have.
Because this came out in 99.
The book definitely did.
So maybe they stole this from Starship Troopers?
Maybe. I mean, the next episode was also really full of pop culture references. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that was the big saving point.
This one had the Ewoks and that, I think you might be onto it right there.
97. Starship Troopers came out in 97.
Okay.
And this episode was in 99.
Yep.
So that was, okay, just if you guys are watching along with us or, maybe you're just tuning in to listen to Two Idiots Talk, if you get time, rewatch that particular scene. I swear that is directly ripped off from, Starship Troopers. I would put money on it. But
yeah, in a good way though.
Yeah. No. It definitely in a good way. They did it well. But again, you know, and I think this is a theme that we've kind of discovered, or not really discovered, but a theme that we typically talk about. I mean, it's a TV show in 1999. The special effects, they hold up pretty well. Like all said and done, they really do.
Oh, you'll get shows on TV now that aren't as good as this.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, no. It surprises me, that's all. You know, like, it really does. It really does surprise me that they were able to do what they could on a per episode budget. And I don't know what their budget was per episode, but again, it's a TV show, you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's definitely low.
So, yeah. I liked it though. I mean, out of all the shit that we talked about it, and again, half the fun is watching these shows, is talking about these shows and fucking kind of making fun of the points of them at time, but
like when the Jack and Daniel were fighting the Ritu and one of the soldiers they were with got shot, and when he, you know, they pan back to him, his body slumps to the side and the burn outline is of him slumped down. So he was already slumped down when he got shot.
So he was taking a breather, dude. Like, he was probably doing a lot of running around. So there were two things there. One, very satisfying death when that other Tok'ra got it, and it shot him out the window into the gate room.
Oh yeah,
that was a really cool death. Give him credit on that. You know, like he's like slowly panning the room, and then
you don't
boom,
do that.
there
you
it is.
Wave it like
you do.
This guy has apparently never played Silent Hill, because you just wave that flashlight around and you hope something shows up in it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, it was so good though. He just got, and it was almost like this, it kind of reminded me of this like mid-80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger action film where, you know, people are always flying out the window and shit like that. That's just exactly what it reminded me of.
Very much so.
And then, so when they put the base on lockdown, right? And then they're all gearing up, they're all grabbing weapons. That, side note, they're grabbing weapons that have already been, you know, the Tok'ra were like, it may slow them down, but it's really not going to do anything. But they're like, fuck it, let's grab some more P90s. Yeah. They're grabbing all those, and Sam's like, we turned the lights down low to help, you know? And I start looking around, I'm like, they're all dressed in black now. Like, they literally changed into like this black tactical gear because of a reason. I'm like, you took the time to change your clothes, Carter. Like, get the fuck out of here.
This is important, you know? She has her standing around the base attire and then her running around the base attire.
Yeah. And then she's got her, I want to kind of be looking like a ninja attire.
Right? Absolutely. I would too.
She still looked good in it. You know, as much as she may annoy me, she still looked pretty good in that fucking shit. But yeah, the satisfying death moment. That was, we had two satisfying death moments in this episode that were just really cool for me. They just worked. They worked very, very well. So props to this episode, all said and done, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. And last but not least, 1969.
Yes.
The Summer of Love.
Yes. So in this one, Sam manages to send the gang back in time, where they're promptly captured and held as Russian spies. A dashing young man named Hammond helps them escape, and they're able to walk onto a military base that holds the Stargate without any resistance and go home.
There was some resistance. There were two soldiers that fired like 6 rounds at him, okay?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess I missed that because it wasn't really important.
Yeah. What? Because nobody got shot in the butt or something?
Because nobody done anything. I mean, it wasn't enough resistance. I mean, they walked into the observatory. Apparently the door is unlocked and everything is powered up. And Jack, who owns a telescope, can just operate this multi-million-dollar telescope.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing at the military base. They pulled up out front, and then the next scene is them unlocking the Stargate.
And both of those were in my notes. All right. But let's backtrack. Let's start from the beginning here.
Let's
look at this crazy episode. All right.
Yeah.
And once I was kind of excited to talk to you about this because on your other podcast, you guys have just did a podcast comparing and contrasting various forms of time travel in pop culture.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So we get the grandfather paradox in this one. That was Carter's angle, and we got the grandfather paradox, and then we got the Star Trek form of time travel.
Yeah, it's sort of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
And she even uses that phrase in it, which it's true. The only problem I had with the time travel in this episode was that when they first show up through the Stargate at the bottom of the silo for some reason, and then the Stargate disappears. They should have just had it that they came through in a box in storage somewhere. You can still have the exact same scenes in it, just slightly different location.
But isn't that the whole point, is that they traveled right back to the same point that they left at?
But they didn't. They were traveling to a Stargate. Like, there's nothing for it to connect to on this side. And if they just pop into existence, I'd have less of a problem with it. But they walk through the Stargate, and then the Stargate does like that Wayne's World do-do-do-do, and disappears.
Yeah, it did. Okay, I see what you're saying. I do. But I think for the context of this show, that their form of time travel, when they're talking about the use of a Stargate, like a wormhole.
Fine. You know what? Here, I've solved it.
Okay.
All you have to do is show an unstable wormhole without the Stargate at the bottom of the silo, and I'm in. Have them come out of this little tiny, like, fluctuating, weird rip in space and time.
Like a fucking Donnie Darko type of,
yeah.
Fucking, okay, I'm in.
Done. I'm 100% on board. I'm 110% on board if you do that. But I couldn't, you start off with the Stargate disappearing, and suddenly I'm thinking you got some sort of magician off to the side casting a spell so that they can't see it anymore, and we're going to get into like Merlin and stuff like that. But
I mean, we will actually.
I know, but
no, I see what you're saying, and you know what? I actually like your idea. I do. Partially because I thought that was a really good spot to kind of throw them in when they come out of the wormhole, is underneath a fucking rocket.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I love the way that Teal'c was written in that particular part of the episode. Like, they're all panicking, and he just kind of looks up because he has no idea what the fuck this is, No,
but he's gonna shoot it.
But he knows that it's danger because the team is fleeing from it. So he just pulls out the Zat gun and just shoots it right in the dick, and it shuts it off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it was just, I really enjoyed that scene. Like the part with Teal'c, I mean.
Hey, I got a question for you. Speaking of Teal'c.
Yeah.
Where was his staff?
Did he go through it? Did he go through the Stargate with it?
Nope. He left it at home. For the first time that I have seen, he did not leave Earth with his staff.
Okay.
And the reason he did that was because it wouldn't have fit in one of the two boxes that they put all their weapons in when they get confiscated.
That's true. But they were going to a planet that we had been to before. Not we as in the viewers, but the SGC, an SG team had gone there, right? Like, they were going to a familiar world.
I don't know that they were. They were going to P2X 555, and they mentioned that they have to recalculate because this time of year the trajectory of the wormhole takes it really close to our sun.
Takes it something like 7,200 miles.
Yeah, but I don't know that means that they'd been there before. Oh, okay. Carter, she would have already had to have done those calculations if they had.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they had. So I don't think it was that it was friendly territory. And even then, he brings his staff on friendly territory missions.
Okay. Again, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and look for reasonings here.
No, I love that.
I thought,
I'm just saying.
But no, I think you're right. The fact that because I agree that the writers are probably like, shit, like, how do we, like, what are they going to do with his staff weapon? Right. That type of thing. So,
just, hang a lantern on it. Tell me that he's leaving it at home because it broke or because the scientists want a week to study it or, there's so many options open to you for you to go, look, we have a reason that he left it. It's not just that it wouldn't fit in the box.
Yep. No, true story. Or shit, they could have just thrown it in the back.
Yeah.
And here's there was nobody guarding. Okay, we're getting too far. So, Teal'c shuts down the fucking rocket beautifully,
Yep.
very James Bondish that,
Yep.
you know, he does that, and I love that. Then they actually get caught, and instead of smart military separating them, they just throw them all in a holding cell, and that's where Carter explains, hey, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like, we've time traveled, and we can't say a thing. Like, everybody's gotta shut up about everything, yada, yada, yada. And then you get a really great scene between, Jack and, Major, I can't remember his name right now.
I don't think it was important.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a one-off character where he's interrogating him because he believes that Jack is a commie.
Yes.
You know? And
Yeah,
he's like, what's your name? And that was such a beautifully written scene, that he's like, what's your name? And he's like, James T. Kirk, and he's like, that's not what it says on your name tag or on your dog tags. And he goes, it's lying, and it's just,
Yep.
it was incredibly well written, incredibly well acted by, Richard Dean Anderson.
You're right. My name isn't James T. Kirk. It's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it was so well done. So well done.
Yeah.
So we get to meet, like you said, we get to meet a very young Lieutenant Hammond.
Who gets mystery notes from himself in the future, which I loved. I thought that was a very strong story stance. To show us, have Hammond give her that note at the start of this, because a lot of like time travel episodes in Star Trek and things like this where one character knows it's coming, like the episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where they have the snake creatures and they meet Mark Twain. Guinan knew that was happening the whole time, and we only find that out at the end when they confront her, and she's like, "Yes, I've been waiting 700 years or whatever, 200 years for this." But in this one, it was Hammond making that first move.
Yeah,
here you go. Here's a note, and then the younger version of him finds it. I'm like crying. I thought that was awesome.
I thought it was incredibly well done because we've seen so many fucking time traveling episodes in science fiction. Like it's just a very popular storytelling method in science fiction. It's just we can't get around it, And I think we've got about a 50-50 shot on whether or not those episodes are good if they're done right. And I think this was a prime example of how to do a time traveling, especially in a TV show. Yes. It's one thing if you have a big budget movie and your whole movie is based around this one idea of a time traveler or a time traveling team or whatever the case may be. But this is just a TV show, and it was so well written, so well put together. And even the little detail about Hammond had Carter do all that research so that he would know the exact dates to list on that note.
And just gives her that cryptic note with just the dates and the times. That was
yeah, no.
Talk about not want to ruin your future history.
Yeah, no, it was so well done. And I think that Carter had to be a bitch in that episode. Like she had to kind of be like the fucking level-headed, no means no type of mentality because she was the only one that truly understood what was at risk. If the members fucked up, like there was a, so anyway, before we start talking about that, Hammond agrees to help them escape and they start hitchhiking with a couple of hippies. They find a couple of hippies in Colorado that happen to be going to New York.
All the way to New York.
Okay. That's they roughly spent like 27 hours with them.
Oh, bare minimum.
I
felt like we were in the Muppets with the map travel that we were doing in that. I felt like this was the origin story of Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Yes. Yeah. But I will say the conversation that Teal'c had with the guy hippie, like at the very start when they're sitting up in the front of the car together in the van together, that was a really cool little part of the episode. Like it was a really neat dialogue, very funny dialogue. And I was all on board for that. I really was, but
I was waiting for the guy to say ass, gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free.
Well, okay. Here's the other thing. Jack says something to Hammond like, hey, do you have any cash? You know? And Hammond's like, I've got a little. So Jack takes it and he's like, I'll pay you back. And then they leave. I'm like, there's like 4 other knocked out people. Can't you just check their wallet, see if they've got some cash? Like,
you get some opportunity for more money here very easily.
He goes, we have gas money. And I'm like, okay. So even if Hammond happened to have like $200 in cash in him in 1969, it kept showing them stop and buy clothes and buy food and buy all this other shit. And I'm like, no, I don't know. No, we're good. So I took some problems with that one, but
yeah.
So yeah, we get to the part that you're talking about. Well, they decide that they need to talk to, what was her name?
Catherine.
Yeah, they needed to talk to Catherine. And Carter says, well, we can't, it's going to fuck up the timeline. And Daniel, it was just like, how do you know that we weren't the ones anyway? That told her about that. I thought that was pretty clever. And I was like, okay, I can buy that, But then we do get that scene that you talked about where they go to the fucking observatory and it's just open.
It's empty. All the doors are unlocked. And apparently every single button on that telescope was labeled very clearly.
Yes.
Because Jack took one look at it and went, oh, and opened up the roof without any issue.
Yeah. Just, that one and the fucking hangar scene, both. I was just like, really, guys? Like,
yeah.
That's sloppy writing. Like, you can come up with something else. Like, make him do a tour and then sneak away from the tour. Like, how many times we see that all the time? Like, that's at least more quasi-believable than what we fucking got,
Yeah. And then at the military base, the armory, wherever it was, why is the gate being stored standing up? Like, that's just asking to fall over.
That's pure, unadulterated, fucking lazy writing. That is your key fucking plot device right there. Like, that is just.
And it did nothing for it. There was no reason. We could have had it laying down just like we did a couple of episodes when the Mayborn's dudes went through it.
We've absolutely seen that thing could be used on laying on its side,
Yeah.
But again, it's because they wanted the payoff of Teal'c and Daniel climbing up on the ladders, opening it at the same time. And, you kind of, the music's going up and, the fucking sides fall and whatever.
I mean, it was a good visual and it wasn't great, but it was a good visual. I didn't dislike it. I think that you can write your way around it.
Yeah. And then, so then they, at this point, the hippies overheard them talking about what they were trying to do. And then they create this little lie to the fucking idiot hillbillies about
that's
where
my favorite Jack moment is when you can see it on his face. He's just like, nope, we're leaning into this now.
Yeah, we're in. He basically tells them that they're from another planet. They've got to get back to their planet and they've got to get to New York to do that. So these hippies that I'm assuming that they've driven halfway, if not more, at this point, and then they're like, yeah, fuck it. We're going to keep going with this, like they were all about it. And, so then, they want to be, for helping SG-1 out, they want to be taken with them, right? Like that was their thing. They're like, well, you owe us. Jack's like, we can't, and then the female hippie was like, well, this male hippie here, I should have written down their names, but they're hippies. Male hippie here, he got his draft card. He's got to go to the war,
Yeah. And his name was Michael. Her name was unimportant.
Yeah, exactly. His name really wasn't all that important anyway, besides that. So Jack gets ready to say something and Carter has to stop him, right? And I'm like, okay, I get why you have to stop him. I'm like, but can't you, like, you do owe him. These people just fucking drove you from Colorado to New York. Can't you at least say, hey, the fucking Royals are going to win the fucking, World Series in 1985. The Tigers are going to win it in 84. Like, throw them just a couple little fucking tidbits that could, maybe turn a little profit in the future, or maybe say, hey, there's this company that's going to be called Apple. Keep an eye out for them. Get the stock while it's cheap. Just give them.
I mean, it's such a trope at this point. But they should still have done something.
Yeah. Throw them a bone, man. Fuck. They just dealt with your dumbasses,
Yeah.
So anyway, they end up, finding that, Hammond's Hammond was correct on the exact times of those, and they go through the Stargate, they come out of the Stargate, and they are in the SGC. Am I right?
Yeah, they were in the SGC at some nebulous point in the future.
Yeah.
When the gate has been retired for some reason.
Yeah, it's so much going on there that I'm like, oh, okay, the show is not going to be around long enough to get these payoffs, so you just need to tell us. you know?
But that's fine. There's something that happens, but I can't imagine any future in this world where the Stargate wouldn't be in use.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it wasn't in use, it wouldn't be guarded or sealed.
Yes.
You know, weld the iris over it, bury it, whatever you throw it into the sun. I don't care. I'm not clear again on what we're supposed to take away from this. You've got this crazy old lady running around this military base because it's still a military base.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's a decommissioned military base and she lives there now.
No, and again, I don't buy it. I don't buy that at any point after all of the people that we've met, the alliances that we've made, even if there is no more threat, right? Even if the galaxy has come together and wiped out every bad guy ever, that Stargate would still be in use, like just as a fucking, like using a plane, you know, like it would still be used as a vehicle to get us or other people moving around.
Even if it's just goods and services that you're transporting from place to place, it's a cheap, instantaneous way to do that.
Yep. Even if you just want to go to fucking the other side, where's the current second Stargate? Nevada? Somewhere thereabouts. Even if somewhere in the distant future they put the other Stargate in like China, you know, and you just want to fucking go to China or whatever, you know, like I don't buy it. Just like you, I don't fucking buy it. But anyway, keep us going.
Yeah, it was a little weird for me.
Yeah. Oh well. But we did get to see Cassandra again.
We did.
A different version of Cassandra, like a very old version of Cassandra.
Yeah. Fun fact: that was a different actress.
Really, dude? Oh, God.
I had to.
Did you have to, though?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Pretty much.
So she, says, Carter, blah, blah, blah. I got to send you back to your exact same time. And she pulls out her iWatch and fucking opens up the fucking Stargate.
Yep.
Which, that was actually some pretty cool technology.
It's kind of neat. It showed that after all of the events of this, things did progress.
Yeah. Yeah, technology did at least.
Yeah, I mean, it looked very gold. I'm sure it was, the type of thing that Apophis wore when, he was dialing the gate with just touching his wrist.
Yep, I agree. So then they get back to the SGC, and Hammond says, you owe me $532, by the way, from the interest, from the money I sent you, or let you borrow. More importantly, I don't think that Hammond should have asked for the money. I think that Hammond owes Jack one shot of the Zat gun.
Yeah, but we've established Jack would enjoy that. He's
that's
he's
true.
Used to being electrocuted.
That's true. He'll just absorb it.
Yeah, he just makes him stronger.
Yeah, true story. But man, I loved that episode. I really did. It was such a fun episode. It was such a clever use of time traveling. Maybe not so much a clever use of time traveling because, like I said, we've seen it with Star Trek, whatever Star Trek movie that was, where they slingshot around the sun. And I think we've seen it in other forms of Star Trek.
I mean, but it was decent. It held up. Aside from the start with the Stargate disappearing, it was internally consistent. There was nothing about it that made me go, wait, you wouldn't do it that way, blah, blah, blah. I liked it. I didn't have a problem with their MacGuffin explanation of, maybe it's a flare on the other side of the sun. Fine. I don't know how this works. I'm not a physicist. Sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. You got, I believe you. Like, we're good,
I had more of a problem with Daniel thinking he can speak with a German accent. It's like, no, you can speak German. That's totally different.
That was just a creepy fucking accent, wasn't it? Oh my God. That just killed me.
Oh yeah.
I think it was killing Carter, dude. I think you could see it on her face that she was like, shut the fuck up, Daniel.
Yep.
You know? So, but yeah, no, all said and done, I enjoyed all 3 episodes, this week. Just, felt like one fell short a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd
agree with that.
So any final thoughts on any of those that you wanted to bring up?
Nothing else I got to bring up. No.
Okay.
I think we agree. Good episodes, bad episodes. Still worth watching. I am a little sad that we never see the Ritu again. We had this whole army set up to attack. We get 5 of them that come through the gate, and then we never see them. We never see Charlie, and it never gets brought up again.
Now, is that fact? Like, we know for a fact that never gets brought up again?
I looked it up. I wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Okay.
They never come back.
That really is sad, man. I was hoping that we could get some pretty decent, Charlie payoff, like maybe in a couple seasons, that he comes back and he's like in his 20s and, or maybe he's 18 and he's got this world of knowledge now with Tok'ra, and that could have been a really cool episode,
Nope. Nothing. Yeah, I know. It was a nice setup, but with no payoff.
Yeah, that sucks. That does suck. I was hoping for that, but oh well. So next week, we are finishing up season 2 next week already. I cannot believe that, but we are. We're looking at, the season finale of season 2 is Out of Mind. And then we go right into season 3 with Into the Fire and Seth. Now, is Out of Mind and Into the Fire, is that like is that they flow together?
I don't know. I think so. I tried to keep them that way.
Try to keep okay. I think that's when we initially talked about that. I think that's how we set it up.
Yeah.
So yeah. I look forward to it, man. Oh, and I guess we'll do a recap show next week too, probably.
Yes, I was looking forward to that. Yeah. Out of Mind and Into the Fire are both directed by Martin Wood, so I do believe there is some crossover bleed through between.
Okay. And then, man, Martin Wood got some work done in season 2, by the way. So, his Gamekeeper, Matter of Time. Yeah. So, but yeah, so we'll do those 3 episodes. We'll start season 3. We'll do a season 2 recap show next week. Probably just something like a little 20, 30-minute little quick episode.
Yeah.
So if you guys, have any thoughts about season 2, anything you would like us to bring up or maybe discuss a little bit more, or maybe something that you think we've missed, feel free to hit us up on Twitter, email us. All of our contact information is going to be in the show notes, every episode. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's always just such a blast to talk about these episodes, Kevin.
Always a blast.
Yeah.
I have so much fun.
I always do. We will see you guys next week. Take care.
Good night, everyone.